day that we have a crowd like this. Thank you very much for coming to this meeting. And if you are here about energy from waste, it's not on the agenda, but you will still be able to ask your questions during the question period. First of all, we're starting off, though, with what's called the TNO meeting. This is for our unorganized territory. It's a short agenda, and then we go into the regular public meeting. And in the TNO, I'm actually the mayor of the TNO, and all of the mayors are councillors. So if you hear me calling them councillors, that's why. So we will begin our TNO meeting for March the 20th, 6:30. Could I have a councillor open with a resolution? Moved by Councillor Lynn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. As I mentioned, I would like to just announce that we are being recorded on Facebook Live, and the recording will be available on the MRC website tomorrow. Number 3, the declaration or utilization of language of your choice. Je rappelle l'importance pour les membres du conseil régional et les autres participants à la séance de s'exprimer librement dans la langue de leur choix. Au besoin, il y aura la présence sur place d'une ressource de la MRC pour assurer une traduction. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants in the sitting to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. If necessary, a resource of the MRC will be available to ensure translation. And number 4, Déclaration de la préfète, statement by the warden. Nous sommes élus par les gens du Pontiac pour les représenter au mieux de nos capacités. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions d'une manière professionnelle. J'écouterai très attentivement les débats et les discussions de cette réunion, et si j'entends des paroles négatives ou des critiques à l'égard de quelqu'un d'autre, j'arrêterai la réunion et demanderai à cette personne de s'excuser. Je vous remercie. We are elected by the people of the Pontiac to represent them to the best of our ability. They expect us to conduct our meetings in a professional and business-like manner. I will be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting, and if I hear any words of negativity or criticism of another person, I will stop the meeting and ask that person to please apologize. Thank you. Next, we need a resolution for the reading and adoption of the agenda of the TNO, moved by Councillor Christine Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Number 6, are there any declarations of conflict of interest at this meeting around the table? Seeing none, I thought you were putting your hand. Seeing none, we will continue. Number 7, the adoption of the minutes of the last sitting. We need a resolution for this, moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Number 8, public question period, but this is pertaining to the TNO up in the unorganized territory. Are there any questions about the TNO? Okay, seeing none. We will go on to finances, and we have a report from our treasurer, Annie Vinecourt, for the accounts paid. Annie?
Bonsoir, good evening, everyone. So for the TNO in the last month, a short list of bills were paid for a total of $29,331.11. There was about $14,000 spent for supplies and culverts, and then plates for one of the trucks, and also shares to the MRC.
That's it. Okay, are there any comments or questions about that report? Could I have someone move the resolution? Moved by Councillor Alain Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And finally, The closing of the sitting, I need a resolution. Moved by Councillor Karen Kelly. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And on that note, I would like to say how happy we are to have Mayor Karen Kelly back with us at the table. It's been a while, and you've still been doing all of your work up there in Thorne and keeping in touch with us, but it's so wonderful to have you here, Karen. Welcome. And I'd also like to take this moment to welcome our new Economic Development Director, Mr. Pierre Cadieux, who was introduced at our special meeting last week when he was formally voted in. And how long have you been here now, Pierre?
Been here since last Thursday. So, sure. This meeting is going to be interesting. But quite frankly, you know, I'm a country boy at heart, so I'm happy to be in the Pontiac. But more importantly, I'm quite impressed with the quality of the people that you have. So as representatives, as your representatives that are around the table, you something to be proud of with the staff of say, but this is one of the reasons I threw my hat in the ring and went through the process, because I found that there's a lot of potential in the Pontiac, but to make the potential happen, you need to have the staff and the goodwill of everybody around the table. And that goes for the elected representatives and the civil servants. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Pierre. And that was unexpected and spontaneous. So Pierre did an excellent job. And what Pierre, we've already found, brings to the table is a lot of business experience and also governmental relations, which can only be helpful. So thank you very much. And now we will begin our public meeting. Could I have someone open the meeting with resolution, please? Moved by Mayor Odie Godin. Again, just to remind you that we will be recording this meeting, and it will be it's also available to our audience. Welcome to everyone from the Pontiac who's listening in and elsewhere on Facebook Live, and it will be available on the website tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks to Francis Beausoleil. The use of language of your choice. If it's all right with everyone, I will not read it again. It still applies. And so does the warden's declaration of decorum. Number 5, the reading and adoption of the agenda. Could I have someone move a resolution? Moved by Mayor Donnie Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest on this agenda? Okay, seeing none. Number 7, we need to have a resolution to adopt the minutes of the last regular sitting. Moved by Mayor Ed Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Also, the adoption of the minutes of the March 13th special sitting. Need a resolution. Moved by Mayor Doris Ranger. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And now we have a special presentation or brief speech update by the new president of the Pontiac MRC Pontiac Youth Council, Leah Gagnon, who also happens to be the granddaughter of Alain Gagnon, Mayor of Bryson, and also the daughter of our, where is Julian here at the moment? Oh, okay, right, of Julian Gagnon, who works in public safety. So Leah, please come up. And it's a bigger crowd than usual, but actually I just want to say, when we had the mental health forum at PHS, which included all 3 high schools in the Pontiac, there were at least 500 kids in the gym. and all the staff. And Leah was handed the microphone, and she had heard how the principal sounded in it. And she turned to me and she said, "Do I have to use that? Sounds like he's in a tunnel." And I said, "Well, I don't know. Sure, go ahead without it." She's a natural. She just spoke without a microphone, but tonight this one works.
Thank you. So as a result of the forum that we held at Pontiac High School and at OSSA, we got a few new members of the youth council, and I'm very, very glad to say that. So after this forum, we are taking our next step and beginning a new project. The youth council came to the conclusion that we need to make kids feel more included and involved. So we were brainstorming some ideas. We came up with a coffee house that we are going to be holding hopefully mid-May, about the 16th in Shawville. We're not sure the exact location, but I can update you guys at the next meeting. We're hoping to do some music from the students from some of the schools and some short films that were created for English projects. We will have some baked goods and hopefully have it from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, possibly. We're using this as an opportunity for the kids of Pontiac to get together, and the members were very, very enthusiastic about this. We came up with some dates for upcoming meetings. We decided on April 15th would be best and May 13th. And then June 10th, we're hoping won't interfere with exams. And then we'll take a break in the summer for July and August, and we will form the new youth council afterwards. And that's about it. If there's anybody who knows any youth about 14 to 17 who would be interested in being part of the youth council, I encourage you to get in contact with me or let me know or get them to message me. Thank you.
Excellent. Were there any questions of Leah? No, it's pretty straightforward. Great work. Thanks, Leah. All right, next item is Warden's report, number 10. So in the last month, this is what I've done. I attended the Women's Institute Information Day in Shawville, had a Council of Mayors meeting, CMS, the FRR Volley 3, interviews for economic development, met with Lean Matheson of HR. We had our CPO, Kim and I, in Gatineau with the other wardens of the regions of the Outaouais. Meeting with Hydro-Quebec, there were a number of us that went. We had the opportunity to meet the vice president and hear about Hydro-Quebec's plans. Abattoir meeting. Vitalization committee. Revisions of energy from waste report with committee. I attended my mother's funeral. March 2nd, there was a meeting in Campbell's Bay, which many of you were at, and I was as well. Went to a book launch of Taller Cranston, who happens to be my cousin. Shoot Kalunj had a meeting, the joint meeting of the FCM. It's a national committee, and it is a committee that is about violence and abuse of elected women. The CPO, choice of regional priorities. We've made those choices. Had a meeting with Sophie Chattel here at the MRC. Presentation by PDG Dr. Mark Bilodeau, who is the new head of the CISO. He came here and met with us. A visit to Bryson Farms and the new large greenhouse down by the Ultramar of John Zang's with Sophie Chattel. Preparation for plenary. We had a meeting of the Agri-Sever, the Volley 3, plenary. I had a meeting with Matthew Lacombe, which doesn't happen that often, but it was a phone meeting. He called me last week. He's the Minister of the Outaouais. Meeting with Jason Durant, who briefed me for a forestry conference that I was at yesterday. A meeting with the Minister of the Environment, Minister Benoit Charette. Now, I want you all to know that the meeting was organized for last Friday at 11. And I was going to let everyone know, but on Wednesday, he had to change his plans and he did not come to the Pontiac because I don't know if you've been following the news, but maybe the budget, and there was an issue about a BAP not being held because Minister Fitzgibbon was putting in a battery company and that's created a problem. So anyways, what he offered was a virtual meeting. So we had a virtual meeting on Monday and it involved 5 or 6 people from MRC staff as well. And then I did attend yesterday the forestry conference, which had the deputy minister of the actual minister of forestry wasn't there, but I was very happy that Pontiac was spoken about more than any other region of the Outaouais. And Nicola Brador, who's come to speak to us before about the need to be having more forestry in the private forest. He was very pleased with how it went. He spoke many times, as I did, as well as Martin Boucher from the Groupement Forestier. So it was really a great meeting. Any questions from the table about the meeting? I'm sorry, about my warden's report. Okay, so we'll go on now to item 11. And this is involving the MRC Pontiac Public Town Hall meetings. And the subject will be energy from waste. And before I address that, there are a few things that I would like to say. And so what I'd like to say is that we will have 5 town hall meetings. And before announcing the dates, I want everyone here and everyone listening to know that MRC Pontiac has wanted a better solution than landfill since 2011. Today, we have a chance to make a great deal of improvement to recycling. And our composting, we need to find a way to capture as much compost as possible across our 18 municipalities. And Terry Rambo and Carrie Richardson had estimated it could capture 40% of what's currently going to Lachute, which we're spending $1.7 million a year just to get the 5,000. By the way, the 5,000 tons is a 2019 number, so we must give you an updated number, but that was the 2019 number. And so we also, I listened on March 2nd, and I think that our council, we've talked about zero waste. It's a very good idea. You know, it's something that could be embraced, and we need to have more information and discuss more. The MRC Pontiac also currently has a project that is looking at energy from waste as another possible solution. And there are many types of energy from waste. But we would all agree around this table that it has been really exciting, and it's evident tonight, to see over the past few months, and I think it's because of the activism in the community. It's not thanks to MRC Pontiac, but so many people are now interested in and care about where our waste goes. Recently, and since the March 2nd meeting in Campbell's Bay, there's been a lot of information on social media and in our papers and our chip radio. What has been presented does not describe what we are working on. So no, you haven't had a chance to hear what we're working on. And so, excuse me, you know, I wouldn't want to ask anybody to leave. Please, when I went to the meeting March 2nd, I was clapping. I wasn't, yes, I was clapping and taking a lot of notes. So MRC Pontiac will never move forward with a project that is unhealthy for our residents, animals, or environment. And as you know, we've just completed our initial business case, and we want to share the results with you. And actually, contrary to what the equity reported today or this week, last week I suggested a plan to the Council of Mayors to host 5 town hall meetings in Fort Collonge, Calumet Island, Shawville, Otter Lake, and Campbell's Bay, but I asked immediately for assistance, and I chose who I felt would be the best person, Mayor Corey Spence, to assist, because he's worked closely with me on the Energy from Waste Business Case Committee, as well as Mayor Lynn Cameron and Mayor Alain Gagnon and our staff. And Corey Spence is very interested in this issue. He's done a lot of reading, a lot of research, and I think he's going to do an excellent job. So the way he will assist, I'll be present at all of the meetings, and we really hope that our mayors will get to as many of the meetings as they can. But Corey will actually give the presentation, and then I will be available to answer questions, as will he. And if we can't answer the questions, we'll get the answers for you. And once again, I just want to reiterate, we look forward to your attendance and your questions. And no decisions have been made. And this is completely led only by the MRC Pontiac. There's been a lot of information. It's very hard to defend ourselves when things are on the social media and everything. But one thing I can say clearly, there is no company leading this. This is only led by MRC Pontiac. And it's very early days. We've done very little. We've had an initial business case. So we're looking forward to sharing these preliminary results. And once again, on behalf of everyone at the table, I'd like to say this project will not move forward unless it is healthy for our residents, animals, and environment. And at this point, I'm going to hand the mic to Mayor Corey Spence, who is going to provide you with some dates. And we have the locations practically pinned down. There might be one, but Francis Beausoleil will be releasing a press release tomorrow. And by then we'll have all of the locations. Corey.
Thank you, Warden Toller. Words well said. I think I was a little confused here tonight. I heard that the cops were coming, and I thought that it was the police, not the citizens of the Pontiac. So to the cops, you're welcome here. Thank you for this and your organization and all your research. I think it's very valid. I think it's very important that you're doing this, and I'm very happy to see this happening within our community. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So with that said, we're going to organize some town hall meetings here. And we picked, of course, 5. Everybody's welcome to come. And the first one is going to be at Ilus d'Allumet, this upcoming Monday, March 25th, St. Joseph's Hall. Then we're on to Fort Collonge. The location's not yet determined yet, but it's going to be in Fort Collonge on March 27th, which is the Wednesday. And then April 3rd in Shawville, United Church Hall is where it's going to be. And then Tuesday, April 9th in Campbell's Bay RA Hall. And Wednesday, April 10th at Otter Lake. So everybody's welcome. And what I ask of everybody when you do come is that you come with an open mind. I do, and I'm sorry to you feel that that's funny, but I don't. I really do think this is a serious topic. So come with an open mind. We're going to have a balanced presentation, meaning that we're going to look at everything, both sides, and you'll be informed of what's been happening and the way forward. Okay.
Corey, what time are the meetings?
Yeah, everyone will be 7. Go ahead, Corey.
The meetings are going to be all the same. Okay, so all 5 of them are going to be the same presentation each time, over and over again. I'll ad lib a little bit, would be the only difference, but other than that, it's the same presentation, just so everybody knows.
And another thing that Corey has done is he got all of the mayors to give all the questions and concerns that they've heard. And I added some as well, because we all know what's on your minds. We all read the papers. We all hear from you. You are the residents we represent. And so with that in mind, we're hoping that some of those answers will be in the presentation. But if not, you can ask the questions and we'll do our best to answer. Thank you very much, Mayor Spence. Now, favorite time, announcements. We're going to pass this microphone around to each mayor, and they will talk about anything interesting that's coming up in their municipalities.
Good evening, everybody. Raymond Pilon, Mayor of Camels Bay. One event's going on, March 27th, the St. John Elementary School are having a bake sale from 4 to 6 p.m. At the March 30th, the Pontiac Lions Club are having their Easter duck race from 11 to 1 p.m. And on April 9th, at the Camels Bay RA Hall, 7 p.m., it's the town hall meetings regarding the energy from waste file.
Carl, Mayor, Eileen and Kaywood, nothing to announce.
Brent Orr, Municipality of Bristol. We have nothing to announce this month.
Pauline Larvier, Mayor of Leachfield, and all is quiet in Leachfield.
Alain Gagnon, maire de Bryson, un événement qui va se tenir actuellement, ça va être à l'île du Grand Calumet. La brigade d'incendie BGCP vont faire un bal des pompiers le 23 mars à 8 heures. So Fireman's Ball, 8 p.m. at the island, $20. Thank you.
Ed Walsh, Mayor for Clarendon. We have the men's flying elbows tournament coming up in at the arena in Chauvel with the Lions, Chauvel Lions running the bar and stuff like that. So if you have an opportunity to come out, it starts tomorrow night, runs till late Saturday evening. You'll great to see some great senior hockey and stuff like that. So it's a 3-on-3, so it's pretty fast paced and stuff like that. And also we will be part of the Clarendon will be part of the public consultation for the energy from waste on the 3rd of April at the United Hall in Chauvel at 7 p.m.
Lucie Rivet, Mayor of Rapid-Chouachin. For this month, we have nothing. So
Bill McCleary, Shawville. Our Farmers Ball is May 25th at the Ag Society. I believe our tickets are only $10, but you can feel free to give more if you want. I'll be able to announce this again at the next meeting, but this will give you time. Any fireman will have tickets. And just to add what Ed said, there's a live band. I'm not sure if it's Friday night or Saturday night at the both nights. Okay. Really good entertainment and cold beer.
Sandra Armstrong, Municipality de Mansfield et Pontefract. So on the 27th of March, there's a paint night at Cafe Downtown from 5:30 to 9, and all the whatever you need to do the painting is will be available for $25 for that evening. Donc une soirée de peinture au Café Downtown de 5h30 à 9h le 27. Tout ce que vous avez besoin pour faire la peinture est de $25 pour les frais. Et puis au Patro, so at Patro, 209 chemin de la Passe in Mansfield, egg hunt, une chasse aux œufs, from 11 to 3, so de 11h à 3h. Et puis, if you need a phone number, 819-683-3347, and it's free for the kids, donc gratuit pour les enfants, and les adultes is $5. Merci.
Christine Francard, Maire de Fort-Blanche. So we have, let me see now, Ladies' Night on the 28th of March, which will be at the Conference Center in Fort Collins. The tickets are $25 each, and if I'm not mistaken, there's tickets left already. Also, we have the Black Tie event, which will be also at the Spruce Home Inn on April 6th for Chamber of Commerce of Pontiac. So everybody is welcome.
Terry LaFleur, Mayor of Otter Lake. Not a whole bunch going on. We do have an Easter egg hunt that is only 2 hours long, though, in Otter Lake from 3:30 to 5:30 on March 30th, put on by the Recreation Association at the Raymond Johnson Community Center. And I believe that is all.
Odette Garin, Mayor of Waltham. For all you people that are reporting nothing, you'll never be as good at doing nothing as Waltham.
Lynn Cameron, Portage de Fort. We don't have anything going on except our renovations.
Jean-Louis Corriveau, maire de l'île du Grand-Calmet. C'est un peu comme mon confrère d'hier, M. Alain Gagnon. Samedi 7, le 23 mars, à 8 heures, le bal des pompiers, 20 $ pour entrer. Tout le monde est le bienvenu. Merci beaucoup.
Hi, Karen Kelly, Mayor of Thorne and Ladysmith. Anyway, on March the 27th, we have a trivia night. We have a brand new group of people who are starting another recreation association, and they're putting something together to try and bring people into Ladysmith and to make things a little bit more alive. That's it.
Hello, everyone. Doris Ranger, Sheenborough. I'd like to announce, well, first of all, we have an AGM meeting for Residence Mayor on March 27th. I don't see anybody from the West, but if there is, you're welcome to attend. We also have the 50-50 draw in support of Residence Mayor on March 29th, held at George's Bar in Chichester. So there's always one lucky winner at least. And line dancing has started at Harrington Community Center at 7 p.m. on Tuesday evenings again. Everyone is welcome. That's it for me. Thank you.
Hello again, everybody. Corey Spence, Mayor Iluz Alimet. Just want to reiterate, March 25th, Monday coming up, Energy from Waste meeting.
Donald Daniel, Chichester. Okay, Doris already mentioned Residence Mayor AGM next week, but I think Corey just forgot something. It's Sunday, March 24th, pancake breakfast, Chapel Lions Club. I think it starts at 8 to 12. Okay. Thank you, Corey.
Okay, thank you very much. Lots going on in the Pontiac. And now, item 13, we're going to have our public question period. Usually there is half an hour allotted, and I know there are so many of you here. Can I just have a show of hands for who had planned to speak or ask a question? Because then I'll know, how much time to give to each of you. So, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Anyone else? 9? Okay. So approximately 3 minutes each is it's supposed to be questions usually on the agenda, but I know you're here for energy from waste. No problem. Sandra, could you please take the microphone you have and turn it on and pass it to whomever would like to go first? I think it's the lady at the back with the. Yep. Thank you. Just hold the microphone up close to your chin. That way you'll be heard.
Hello, my name is Debbie Zimmerling. I live in Ottawa. I have a cottage in Ladysmith, Thorne. My family's from the Pontiac. We've lived here a few generations. I love our county of Pontiac. I work in healthcare. I'm a registered nurse. So again, I'm here for the topic of energy to waste. Incineration puts highly toxic substances into the air, and I'm very concerned about that. My question then would be for Warden Jane Toller. You mentioned that the MRC has wanted a better solution to landfill since 2011. My question to you is, are you aware that incinerators do not get rid of landfills? Okay, they don't get rid of landfills. So that's my question. Are you aware of that? Thank you.
Well, I don't really agree with the statement, but I know that, there is evidence that it doesn't get, I'll just back up. We will always need something going to landfill, correct. But I do believe that looking at what they're doing in Europe, they are able to take, and the consultant that you'll hear about this actually at the town hall, so I don't want to give too much information because it's worth hearing. The information that she has given us is that only 2% after everything's been cleaned and treated is actually toxic. And so I know this is very different from what you heard on the second. So, there's this information and that information. Who are the experts? But I'll just say that the reason they are able to not, and that small amount of ash is actually solidified. that is how it's treated. But where does the rest of it go? Like, I know there's been talk about 100,000 tons. We don't believe with our information that there will ever be anywhere close to that amount. There couldn't be. We wouldn't support something like that. But what they are doing in Europe is they are taking the ash that is inert, which is clean, not toxic, and they're able to make concrete. I was saying cement before, which is incorrect. It's concrete. And actually in Denmark, they're building a tunnel to Germany with this. So it's possible to do that. And another suggestion was that some of it could be used on the roads as a substitute for road sand, but it would never go on farmers' fields. That was another rumor. So yes, and I'm sure you have other information, so go ahead.
Answer rate from Europe. Yes, I'm very concerned about, you mentioned the concrete thing and things like that. That ash eventually will be in the environment when buildings are torn down, for example. Okay. So it's not a solution of where we're going to hide the ash. It's still going to be a health hazard. Okay. As a nurse, I'm very concerned. Thank you.
Well, I really appreciate your concern. Thank you very much. Next question.
Yes, I'm Joe Belongi from Litchfield, and I'm concerned about this incinerator because I worked with Port Arthur for 4 years. Sorry about that. Anybody hear me? Want me to speak again? Okay.
You just need to use the mic, sir, so that the people on the recording and on Facebook Live can hear you. That's why.
Okay, the other question I have, about all the garbage that's going to come in, but who knows where, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, I don't know. But where's it going to be stored? And is Litchfield going to be responsible for the waste that they have to look after? Or how is that going to be looked into? I got more questions.
Yeah,
More questions than that, but that'll be good.
Okay, well, I'll try really quickly to answer the questions you've given me. So to begin with, no decisions have been made. I know you've been seeing 5,000 tons versus 395,000 tons coming in. There was a big plan to look at Ontario. We don't know whether Ontario will, in the end, there have been no decisions made. And we did learn that, believe it or not, there are incinerators that are much, much smaller. And probably we should be more concerned about the Quebec side and the Outaouais. And we have lots of municipalities that are looking for a solution. So that's my answer on the number. That's to be decided much later. And to say, would Litchfield be responsible? No. Litchfield, this is a privately owned park that happens to be in the municipality of Litchfield, and you will never be on the hook for anything because this would be owned by the partners that are contributing the waste to it, and which are not, definitely defined yet. And Litchfield, the way this is to be built is that the capital costs would come from 25% private investors, 75% from government, which could be Canada, Ontario, and Quebec. And usually the payback is after about 9 to 10 years. And the idea here is to save money in the Pontiac, save that 1.7 million. We don't know what the recycling and composting will cost, but certainly if we had energy from waste where we're taking the garbage is not garbage, it's actually a resource. We have to think of it as something that can be transformed into something else so that all garbage has a purpose. There's purposes for recycling and composting. This waste can be made into electricity and steam. And we do need electricity. The Premier has said so. And so those are some answers. So thank you. Unfortunately, I have to go to the next person because I spoke too much. I'll stop that next time.
Well, thank you very much.
I'd be happy to have your questions either with a phone call or by email.
Well, I'll get them to my council and they can hand it to you.
I would love that. Thank you very much.
I got a lot more. Thank you.
I'm glad. I love questions.
The vision that I read here, I'm not for that because
I understand.
But
I hope you'll come to the town hall meeting, at least one of them.
Okay.
Just
Thank you very much.
To hear the other side of things. Yes, next person who had their hand up.
Yes, my name is Paul Brennan. I have a cottage on the island. Just a quick question. The energy from waste, has there been a study or planned study to try and recognize the negative economic impacts of an EFW incinerator?
I have not read a study that shows negative impact. I'll just say this. I know there's stories that they're put in poor places and that sort of thing and like foisted on people. The energy from waste that we're looking at, for example, in Europe, they're built like right beside a hotel, right beside a residential development, in the middle of a city. They're not considered something that would detract in any way from lifestyle or quality of life. And they do create enough energy and power to look after, like if we were to build a large one, it would power 50,000 homes or 100,000 electric cars. Not that we're going to be having those, but you see, there's only economic benefit from what we've seen.
Not necessarily. I've been hearing rumors of people turning away investment from this area because there's an incinerator going in.
Okay.
No, I've been hearing different things you've been hearing.
Well, we certainly don't want that. What I could also add is that sometimes, like, for example, many examples, wherever there is an energy from waste built, it attracts other businesses that locate around it because they get the power and the heat.
So those businesses tend to be toxic businesses. They're not
Well,
good businesses.
Okay,
It's
I need to know more about what you're talking about, more about your examples. If you could give me a name of a place.
There are hazards. I don't have them offhand, but I'll get them to you.
I would like that.
Yeah, my next question for you
Yes.
is, why don't we just send our 5,000 tons of garbage to Durham?
Well, that would be
If-
too.
I mean, well, it wouldn't be $450 million for a week.
Well, again, the $450 million is not being spent by us. It's being, that might be the cost to build it. But the benefit in the end, once it's paid off, it's going to make quite a difference to your tax bills because the garbage amount, no, it's true.
It'll make them go up.
Just a minute, that is if your mayors agree to lower them.
My tax bill is about 25%.
I know.
And
I know.
I get,
Okay.
I'd like to get my roads plowed in winter and graded, and that's it. Maybe a bit of calcium. So I'm afraid, and I'm confidently fear that my taxes are going to go up. Now, I probably won't be.
Oh, you mean if there was an energy from waste built?
Yes, yes. So
shouldn't
everyone here, you should be concerned more about their grandchildren, what
Okay.
they're going to be facing.
All right.
Rather than us.
If you could
That's
please
not-
send me the information showing that it has a bad economic impact, that would be great.
I'm Hugh Redmond. My wife and I live at 62 Shemendala Bay on Grand Calumet Island. We've been long-term property owners on the island. This is our 24th year. We have an absolutely beautiful view out our living room and bedroom windows across the beautiful Ottawa River. However, if this proposed environmentally unfriendly mega incinerator dump becomes reality, that would be our direct line of sight from those very windows. To add insult to injury, we just got our 2024 tax bill. Our assessment was raised by 79.5%. 79.5.
That is a lot.
That is unbelievable. I realize the mill rate has been reduced, but we're still getting a 20% increase, and that doesn't include school taxes.
Right.
Other end, we're getting nailed the worst at our end of the island, directly involved. So my first question was, how do you justify putting such an environmentally unfriendly and costly proposal in such an environmentally sensitive area along the banks of the Ottawa River and unfairly raising the taxes on those most affected?
Well, there are two different. I wish I had a good answer for you about the taxes. I'm a taxpayer myself and mine have gone way up too. It's about the evaluation, but anyways,
I've
sir.
been looking at most of people's taxes.
Yeah.
And the evaluation went up slightly.
Yeah.
But with the mill rate being, at least on our island, with the mill rate being less, most people on our island are
Got a
going to be
decrease?
roughly the same or
Okay.
less.
And
Our
yours-
end of the island is getting nailed.
So you should ask for a reconsideration and have them look at it again.
When you
But
appeal here
Mhm.
and you end up having to pay twice to get through here. Then when you go to court, when you're English, you don't have a hope in I'll leave that last word out.
Can you just give me your first and
They
last
won't even-
name?
Won't even,
Just give me your first and last name again.
Hugh Redmond.
Okay.
Okay, secondly, there was a meeting that was held. I was at it at the Campbell Bay Recreation Center. It was very good to see a few council members from other centers attend, and I commend them on their efforts to express concerns on this environmentally sensitive issue. They should be commended. However, I was saddened not to see our mayor or any of our 6 councilors in attendance. My question to you is, to our mayor and councilors, and all mayors and councilors, is why do you not attend these meetings so you can become more educated on environmental impact and damages of such an environmentally unfriendly proposal? Open your eyes, start looking for better alternatives, but only for the Pontiac's waste. I also have quite an education behind me too with environment. I got Ontario Diploma in Horticulture. I'm a National Society of Arboriculture. I'm a certified arborist, and I'm a forestry technician.
Well, I hope that you, with all of that experience, can get involved and help us find the best solution. And I just wanted to reassure you about one point about the water. Well,
Working on this one and look at others.
we are looking at many things. Peter, just to reiterate, there is no leaching with an energy from waste into the water, just to say that. Now, next part, we've got time for trying to say 4 more people, okay? 9, then 9. Whoever put their hand up is going to have a chance to speak. So who's next? Are you next, Linda? No? All right, Judy Spence, go ahead. Okay. The gentleman in blue.
Jim Dent from Bristol, Municipality of Bristol. I'm opposed to the incinerator, and I believe the majority of the council that represents me are also opposed to it. My question is, what are the next steps after the town hall meetings?
That's a good question. We're really anxious to see, we would like to give our information. We would like to hear what your questions and concerns are. And, you know, there are some things that we still haven't studied. And so we will keep you updated in terms of what that is that we need to study and how to do that. But we do know that there is some very interesting information. And as many people have said, you know, North America is not where we should be looking. We're way behind. If you look at countries in Europe and Asia, they've been using energy from waste since the early 70s. And if it was so unhealthy, we'd be hearing about a lot of people dying and that sort of thing. So, you know, we're not, pardon me? Oh, well, that's a good point, but I wasn't referring to communist countries. Anyways, thank you very much. Anyone who's next? Oh, yes. Hi,
Okay.
Christine.
Hi, so Christine Anderson, and I'm representing the Friends of the Pontiac. So this is a question that we've all formulated, so I'm going to read it to you. Well, the initial business plan contracted to Deloitte and Ramble Energy from Waste Industry Advisors was to be finalized and delivered to the MRC Pontiac at the end of November 2023. Our team requested via access to information of a copy of this taxpayer-funded $120,000 business plan in December 2023. On January 29th, 2024, we received a response from the DG that the plan was not yet available for distribution. However, we noted you presented the key findings of this business plan to the Renfrew County of Mayors 2 days later on January 31st, 2024. When will this taxpayer-funded initial business plan finally be released to the public? Because we would definitely like to have our hands on it and to be able to review it before the public, the forum that you guys are presenting, like the suite. And so I can't remember if you did mention today that it has become public or it will be available to us.
So we've already had someone, I think it was Christine Armitage, ask for a copy.
Okay.
And what we hope to do is give our 5 town hall meetings to let as many other people who aren't here tonight and and we hope you're going to be there so that you can just at
Of
least.
course I will be.
You will be right in the front row, I hope.
Yes.
And, we also need you in particular to help us with the composting. And I know about CD Saturday on April 6th, is
Yep.
it? Yep.
Yep.
Got that on my calendar. Thank you for that. There's just so much we need to do. We're so far behind.
Okay.
And so in terms of when the copy of the business plan would be available, I would say after we've had a chance to share it with everyone, as many people as possible in the Pontiac, it will be available.
Okay, but that's still, we're asking for it before you have your town hall meetings.
Well, first of all, Christine, it was not just a few weeks ago, we had a chance to look at it. Our final, there had to be some changes made and that sort of thing. So it's only been complete for a few weeks. And we think based on how concerned people have been made, that it's important, we are the elected people and we are the leaders and we need to lead on this waste management solution and whatever it's going to be.
Okay.
But we would like to have a chance to share it with the public rather than, I believe, what you would like to do, having had a chance to read it, is maybe to immediately come out and disagree with everything. So give us a chance. Give us a chance.
We are the public.
Yes. So come out and hear about it. We're starting next Monday. That's pretty soon. Takes time to get these things organized. We want you to come out and hear it all. There's nothing to hide. And then it will be available
Except for the business plan.
after we finish the 5 town hall meetings. Okay? Thank you. In fact, we'll probably put it online or something like that to make it easy. Yes.
I just want to say that I'm in support of the letter that Friends of the Pontiac emailed to everybody that everyone table should have received. I'm in full support of that letter. Those not loud enough. Oh, I'm Emily. I'm from Bristol. Sorry. Jane, you're asking people to give this idea a chance. I really have been trying to give this idea a really fair chance because, I don't want more landfills either, But the more I look into this, the more research I do, it's just unavoidable that it's a bad idea, basically in every sense of the word, in every way, And I can't take up the whole 20 minutes here giving a presentation on all the reasons why not.
That's
The
right.
4
And
main
this is
reasons.
actually just
hang
a
on second,
question
please.
period. It's not supposed to be a presentation. So
Exactly.
how can I help you? What's
Okay,
the question?
well, listen, just my biggest concern with all of this is the ash that's produced.
Right.
You said that you were not going that at the original info meeting in Shawville that I went to months ago, you said that there could be a secondary business used to spread the ash over the roads and in fields and farm
Never.
fields. You did say that though.
No. I know exactly what I said. And you know what? Time that I stand up for myself because nobody has had her character attacked more than I have. Oh, yes. But you know something? I am embracing all of you. I'm so happy you're all here. Let's work together. Let's work together. But to correct you, I've always said cement, which was wrong. I should have said concrete. I was saying cement and a substitute for road sand. But
Okay,
anyways, we're not
so
arguing tonight.
I will drop the farmer's field thing.
Thank
then,
you.
if
I
that's
appreciate
amended,
that.
because it doesn't matter because if you spread it all over the roads, the effect is the same. Leaching happens. Leaching is going to go into
It's
the ditches,
inert.
into our drinking water. It is not inert.
Well,
There are studies that
hope
show
we-
there's
Hope
heavy
we can
metals
show you some studies.
there's heavy metals in it, Jane.
No, the heavy metals are taken out
There's mercury.
for recycling.
Florida is drinking.
No,
Florida's the
okay.
garbage incinerating.
Thank you.
center of
Thanks,
North
Emily. Thank
America.
you. I'd like to give Judy Spence. Go ahead, Judy. You've been very patient. Microphone to Judy. Well, you'd like us to delay the town hall meetings? I think people, okay.
May I actually have my turn before the meeting runs out?
Yeah, no, Judy, I was going to give you time, But I just would also like everyone to know that we also have a lot of people that are in favor of us at least studying this. And one comment I hear is, why is it that in the Pontiac, when there's a good idea, people want to stop it? Let's study this. Let's
Okay.
study it.
Okay, I'm gonna
Well-
take, my name is Judy Spence. I've got to get this in tonight. She's closing shops.
Go ahead, Judy.
Okay, Judy Spence, citizens of the Pontiac, and I commend you all for coming and showing your support for the lobby, if you will. Okay, so what I want to say is, first off, there's a sheet that was passed out to all of you accidentally, was not meant to, the colored sheet. The black and white, yes, but the colored, it was not meant for you. It was actually, someone had printed it, it was supposed to be coming to me. So I want to first off acknowledge that we had no intention of passing that out tonight.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Okay, fine, but I just want you to know, it was not intended. It was a mistake by somebody else who brought the stuff.
Okay.
I want to, following up on a couple of points that you've made, business plan. Does anybody here, can you tell me, do you have details about the environment, the health? There was a section in there on a cursory business plan. What do you have in the way of health considerations, the environment considerations? Are they in the initial one, or are they only going to be in the deeper dive that you do?
I think you'll find in the town hall meeting that,
Simple questions.
Si-
We're here.
yeah, that the emissions and the ash are going to be discussed, and that's important.
Are they in the, do you have the health and the toxicities, et cetera, in your business plan? It was, initially said it was going to be covering that, your consultant. So is it in there?
I think, yes, because there's a very good comparison between pyrolysis, gasification, and mass combustion, and it actually itemizes, what it is that is released to the environment. Yeah. you're
So
gonna
those are
see
three of the same. They're all burning considerations. Okay, so I just wanted to double check because there was supposed to be some a deep dive into the health and the environment. And also you're going to be, okay, so going back to your point, with your presentations, your balanced presentation, who's going to be giving information on the cons, on the health? Who's on the balance side? You? Okay, because we haven't actually, okay. I'm asking a question. Who is representing the anti-incineration side for balance? Is it you, actually, Mayor Spence?
No, you're not
He put his hand
representing
up.
anti-incineration. You're,
Just, your warden, is it okay that I answer this question? Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. That's a good question. So the idea for this town hall was not to provide a debate format, okay?
A balance, you said.
I said a balance, that's right.
Good.
So what we want to do is provide you with all the information that we got, okay? Be open and transparent, okay? And make sure that everybody has the information that we have. That is it. We want to be transparent. We want to be open. We want to give you the information that we have, and we want to be presented in a healthy way. Okay? And when I'm not finished, please. When she's ready to bounce.
You may continue.
Okay, thank you, thank you. And I'm just saying that because I like your last name. You remember that, I like your last name.
You're lucky.
Yeah,
You're the lucky one.
yeah. Yeah, so, and that's all I ask. So, the gentleman back here said, convince me, and I can only convince people who come with a open mind. And if you leave afterwards with the same opinion, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. Just come with an open mind.
Okay, so you're actually having no presenters on either side
I'm
in your balance.
No, we're just giving you the information that we have. That's what we're not, it's not a debate format. No.
Okay. My next point, thank you, is that the citizens of the Pontiac sent all the mayors and asked you to send it to your counselors invitation, and I've handed you out the old March 2 form that we had. Dr. Paul Connett, who you know from there, has offered. We've actually asked him, and he's going to be presenting to you and the counselors the same medical and the same scientific information. In other words, he's going to give you a private Zoom session for only the elected officials so that you may, in comfort and privacy, have access to the information and pose all the questions that you want. So you actually will be making basically informed consent. You say you're going to be making the choices for us. So informed consent. So I haven't heard back from any of the mayors. I have had counselors who we've sent invitations to actually write us back to register. So I want to know is, have you passed the information along to your counselors? Thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay, super. Thank you. You did. Thank you. Super. I just wanted to make sure because haven't heard from the mayors themselves if they want to join.
Judy, I think actually most people saw the videos, so they've already seen quite a bit of information from
no idea
Dr.
that
Paul.
they did.
Yeah.
Have you mayors all seen it? Bravo, bravo. Thank you. So I'm
Okay.
gathering that you don't need the meeting.
Well, I think if they do need it, we'll get in touch for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
so much.
Judy. Okay, Linda Davis, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to bring this back to reality because it seems we're going off track. First of all, when I found out you had a public meeting on the 19th of June, and it was called the Waste to Energy Facility Meeting, which a lot of people don't understand because it's just plain simple an incinerator. So many people did not even understand to go to this. The second thing was at that meeting, you were talking about how Deloitte was going to win the contract. And I, as a former federal contract negotiator, we have it on tape, Jane, so just so you know, we said to you, you cannot, before it's even gone before a council, decide who the winner to be. And then it ended up being sole source. In addition to that, when I started speaking with my mayors, the mayors told me you did not bring it up on the 19th of June. You had already had them pass something that said, we are willing hosts. We will establish an waste to energy facility, and we will ask the Minister of the Environment to waive our environmental protections and allow garbage to come from Ontario. Now, I'm going
Okay,
are you
stop.
interrupting me?
I'm sorry. Linda, I can't have someone telling things that are not true.
We have it on tape, Jane.
Linda, first of all, the reference to Deloitte was then
May I finish my
that
5
Durham
minutes and then
York
you can
had
address
used
me, please?
Deloitte. Number two, these are supposed to be questions. Instead, you're just telling stories about
Everyone
what
else
you
has
like
been
to do.
allowed to have
And
their say.
this is not about me, Linda. This is about a project for the Pontiac, for MRC Pontiac, okay? So,
Okay, may I
so
please
why don't
finish?
you,
May I finish making my point? As a former regional councillor in the city of Ottawa, we have a certain decorum and there's a process. If you're going to do an incinerator, you would do a feasibility study first. Now you're going to have an information session. Normally that would cost millions of dollars. So that was not done. The second thing was, there was no public consultation. The third thing was, there's no environmental assessment, which Durham had to pay $29 million to Deloitte. So now the process is not democratic, it's not open, it's not transparent. And now suddenly you're asking us all to come out to these meetings that you're giving short notice. Could you please explain what your presentations where you're not going to allow anyone to be able to come back and see it in advance? We want to see the business plan. We've paid for it. Why will you not allow us to have that?
a better way to share a business plan with 14,700 people than to invite them to come out to town hall meetings. And then it's going to be available on a screen. Yes, I don't know that you're walking out with your own copy, but take good notes. You know, you can analyze it all you like. We're going to be, as Corey said, completely transparent with it. We are simply showing the findings or the results of this business plan. And the willing host, I want to explain that. I moved here in 2012. I was told two things. that incineration is permitted in Quebec, which it is. And second, that Pontiac had been a willing host since 2011. I went back, well, willing host, I see you shaking your head. So willing host doesn't mean that the whole Pontiac had been asked, but I'm simply saying that the Council of Mayors, for 4 successive Council of Mayors, voted in support of being a willing host.
But isn't that a misnomer? Because in fact, if I spoke with the former warden McCrank, he said that in fact, what they were doing was not about landfill or incinerators. They were looking at something to do with biomass. And so it's not the same thing. You're mixing apples and oranges.
I looked into that and I was told there was also an interest in coming up with a solution for waste. And what some parts of Quebec have been looking at is combining biomass with waste. That's not something that we would do.
Maybe to Europe, that wasn't what they were
Anyways,
doing.
is there anyone else who hasn't had a chance to ask a question? All right, sir. You'll be our last question. Thank you.
Yes, I'm Pat Belanger from Chauvel. Was at the meet with the RA on 2 weeks ago there. It was very interesting and educational. And I was really surprised. There was a nice crew there, but there could have been a lot more to really see the facts of all this stuff on the table. You know, a few pictures and that film might have saved a lot of explanations. But what I would like to know too is why wasn't there not some kind of referendum on this here so that we could all get on the same page at the beginning instead of having all this other stuff, trying to figure it out on our own? Big question.
I did some research and I haven't found that Dr. Paul Connett is actually an expert on incineration.
Oh, he's been at that for 30 years, 40
No,
years. Maybe.
actually his expertise was on fighting fluoride, that fluoride was a drug and that it was poisonous. And fluoride actually, well, you'll see it all on the internet. Fluoride has actually proven to be a public health miracle because it reduced cavities in teeth by 35%. So I think it's important, just like we're not calling ourselves experts. I think it's hard to find an expert.
That Cornet there, sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
Mr.
But he
Dr.
also
Connett?
had a PhD in chemistry.
Well,
No.
there's lots of people with PhDs. Okay. Yeah, I have. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. And if you'd like to say, we have some more interesting things on this agenda, and we'll be coming up to one very shortly. Anybody like to stay for the rest of the meeting? Okay, we'll give you a chance then to leave if you're going to. Could we at least have a quorum take their seats so we can continue the meeting? Okay, so general administration. We have a resolution from Kim Lesage about Segma Research, the awarding of a contract.
Thank you, Jane. Une première résolution pour accepter une offre de service pour la réalisation d'un plan de développement territorial avec la firme Segma Recherche. So this resolution is to offer or to approve an offer of service to produce a territorial development plan, and this is with the firm Segma Recherche. So it's the total amount for this project is the consultant is $27,500, and it's for these following steps. So the first steps is drawing up a territorial profile for MRC Pontiac and identifying potential for development and enhancement. Second step is an analysis, a competitive analysis, of the pros and cons, areas that we're strong in. Next is the identification of the key differentiators in the Pontiac, the positive and the negative ones. Fourth step is to target customer groups or audiences based on differentiation factors. And step 5 is to define positioning and articulate territorial development strategy based on the economic clusters. This is going to be done. There's a group of people that is going to work on this plan at the MRC level and with some of our partners such as SIDC and Chambre des Commerces and with Segma Research. And there's going to be some public consultations as part of this process as well. So we would recommend to move forward with this.
Thank you, Kim. Are there any comments or questions about this?
I believe Montreal.
Good question, Mayor Kelly from Montreal. And so could I have Mayor Kelly, would you like to move the recommendation? Move the resolution, moved by Mayor Kelly. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. 14.2. The signing authority for Mr. Pierre Cadieux, Economic Development Director.
On a besoin d'une résolution pour autoriser le nouveau directeur au développement économique, Pierre Cadieux, signer les documents au nom de la MRC. So this resolution is to authorize our new economic development director to sign documents on behalf of the MRC.
Any comments or questions? Moved by Mayor Carl Mayer. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Number 14.3, plenary meetings. So this is the issue of whether we will be opening our plenary meetings. And Kim Lesage is going to read a resolution, and she also has a communication she needs to read.
C'est une résolution pour évaluer si on va ouvrir les rencontres plénières, les rencontres préparatoires au conseil, au public. So this is a resolution for public meetings. I'm going to read it. Considering that the Council of Mayors has developed structure for carrying out its work, which includes working meetings, including monthly plenary meetings. Considering that some of the files and subjects discussed are confidential by virtue of the law in force. Considering that, in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Code of Quebec, the council holds public council meetings, such as we're having right now. Considering that said public sittings are held at least once per month. Considering that it is possible for Council of Mayors to consider various approaches for the conduct of its work meetings, such as holding part of the plenary committee meetings in public with citizens attending as observers. It would be proposed to modify the existing structure for plenary meetings by holding part of them in public. I also today received a request from the union, the SFPQ union for our employees, for their opinion on this matter. As some people might not be aware, there's the management staff that are here tonight, with the exception of Julien, are non-unionized. However, the rest of our employees are unionized through the SFPQ, and I believe there's about 27 employees. So I just, Melanie Guinette, our union representative or consultant, is French, so I have a translated version of what she is saying. So good evening. The union wanted to express its disagreement with the resolution that will be presented regarding the presence of citizens at MRC plenary meetings. Our members are not elected representatives accountable to the public. We do not accept that they find themselves in the political arena in front of the citizens they deal with on a regular basis. And given that one of our mandates includes protecting our members, rest assured that the SFPQ would be present at these meetings and intervene whenever deemed necessary. Melanie Guénette, SFPQ Union Consultant.
Any comments or questions about this issue? Or we can have a show of hands and I will read out each person. Kim, the way this is worded, can I just see the actual resolution that we vote on? I just want to read the last line. So if mayors vote yes, it means to open them. And if you vote no, it means to keep plenary meetings closed. Okay, so I'm going to call the question. All those in favor of opening? Okay, so that is Litchfield, Shawville, and Waltham. Here, just one moment. Corey Spence, we're voting now, Corey, on plenary meetings. Okay. Okay.
You can vote yes and work on the details. Like, I mean, it's asking if, no, it's not going to get done before the next meeting, obviously. Well, maybe we should put a time limit and giving us some time to,
Okay,
you know, that might be something that could be added.
Another solution would be, in the future, we can still modify our meetings to make them more open in any way, to, you know, based on how it looks like this vote is going now, to address what Terry's asking, but when will this take effect? I think immediately. If we vote on this, we would be going with the new plenary meeting right away. Bill, you'd like to say something?
No, it's proposing changing the structure, so we have to work on the structure. Because that's not the original motion, the way it was worded. That's been
Okay,
changed,
it's
and I don't
changed?
think we should bow down to a union either.
No. So,
Exactly. I think they can basically bite me.
yeah, I think it could have been shared with you in another way, but it just arrived today. And so Kim felt that she needed to read it out. So anyways,
Excuse me, can we put something in that we're going to work on the structure? Like we're going to change the structure.
is this the same resolution that the mayors saw at plenary? So it is what you looked at last week. So maybe it's been on ID side. That's right. So I'm going to call the question because we have had lots of discussion and debate. Everyone knows how you need to vote. So all those in favor, and I explained in favor means adopting this new procedure, and against is keeping the plenary as it was. Okay, all those in favor, put up your hands so we can see you, please. This will be a change if your hand is up. So that is Colleen Lariviere from Litchfield, Bill McCleary from Shawville, and Odie Godin from Waltham. And those opposed is everyone else. Do I need to? I'll Campbell's Bay, Elena Kaywood, Bristol, Bryson, Clarendon, Rapide des Joachim, Mansfield, Fort Calange, Otter Lake, Portage, L'Île de Grand Calumet, Thorn, Sheenborough, Calumet Island, and Chichester. Okay, so the resolution has failed. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go on now to finance. Resolution from Annie Vinecourt, financial report.
Donc, pour la MRC, nos comptes à recevoir sont maintenant à 2 395 737. Accounts receivables are at $2,395,737. There's about 800,000 of that are the loans, and the rest just regular receivables. The list of payables, la liste des payables pour le mois, 241 394,94, so $241,394.94. Just regular bills to the Fonds d'information sur le territoire, the FQM. There is our Canada Post in there, some supplies, and the Deloitte invoices in there as well. List of checks that were made in the last month. Les chèques faits dans le mois passé, 165 510,45, $165,510.45. A lot of those are grants that are already passed by resolutions through the FRR Stream 2. There's culture in there as well. There was a Village Régionaux invoice for territorial marketing. The Calnet Santés that were done at Fort William and the Pontiac or the Portage Stone School, and just regular other phone and hydro bills. And the kilometers for the mayor's meetings for the last month. Les frais de déplacement pour les élus pour le dernier mois, 1,129,45. So that's $1,129.45.
Thank you. Any questions? Use your microphone, please.
I'm sorry. Annie, I was just wondering, should we send you our expenses for traveling every month, or? Okay, yeah, but do we do that every month, or we can hang on?
It depends when you'd like to be reimbursed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Very interesting. Yes, very interesting. I'm glad you caught that. You know, it's interesting. It was a resolution, and I thought we were voting on the resolution, but apparently we now need to make it official. So this will be voting on the resolution. Why was we voted on a resolution? Can you explain that to me? Oh, no. Oh, I meant to put it in the name of Bill McCleary, because it was Mayor McCleary that brought it to the agenda. So we still need to vote again. All right. As a formality, Kate, moved by Mayor Bill McCleary. All those in favor? Well, actually the greffier is asking us to vote again because I had not asked for a mover of the resolution. We got right into a discussion. Pardon me? We're voting again on opening plenary meetings or not. Okay, so
One of the mayors has left the room.
then we'll wait until she returns and continue on the agenda. Okay, so financial report. I had asked, are there any questions? And seeing none, could I have someone move the resolution on the financial report? Moved by, that's easy. Moved by Mayor Terry LaFleur. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Okay, 15.2, activity report of the treasurer 2021 election resolution.
So this is a report presented, well, by myself, the treasurer of the elections for the 2021 election. So it's an annual report that we have to present if there has been any change in the past year. So it's pretty l'ouvrir, Natasha. I don't have a paper copy. So it's just showing the same information we show every year. So your candidates for the 2021 election, along with the percentage of votes that they got, the limit for the electoral expenses and what their actual expenses were. And then each candidate, of course, is entitled to a certain reimbursement on their expenses. And that's what the 2023 transaction was. Basically was the second disbursement to Warden Toller for the rest of the expenses that were eligible for reimbursement. The candidates also had additional financial reports to do. And that's basically it for this. It was mainly the $1,784.15 that was dispersed.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Okay, could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Lucy Rivet-Paquette. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And I'd like to recognize former Mayor Winston Sundstrom, because your name was just on that last report. I just realized you were in the room. Nice to see you. I'm sure you miss this place. Oh, Donnie thinks you're checking up on Corey. Okay, great. We'll go on. Odie, we discovered while you were out of the room, we discovered that we had voted on plenary meetings without having someone carry the resolution. So it's now carried by Mayor Bill McCleary. So we're going to vote again. So no, I don't think so. All those in favor? The same three mayors, very good. And opposed? And the same in the opposition. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for pointing that out, Travis. Economic Development 16.1, support for partnership initiatives. Resolution, and we're hearing from Pierre Cadieux. Welcome.
Merci, Madame la Préfète. Est-ce que quelqu'un peut passer un micro à Madame la Préfète parce qu'elle doit faire des résolutions? Donc, il y aura 8 résolutions. 8 resolutions are asked of you.
Oh, yes.
And 1 information session. So I will.
You can begin with 16.1, support for partnership initiatives.
There you go. So we have an entente de développement culturel, cultural development policy, I guess. It's a partnership between the MRC and the ministry for the heritage inventory. So we need a resolution and the information, of course, you have already in what we call in French, le gabarit. So I would ask for a resolution for this.
Okay, any comments or questions? Seeing none. Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you very much. 16.2 is the Entente de Partenariat Territorial en lien avec la collectivité de l'Outaouais 2024 to 2027 resolution.
Okay, so Warden, this is territorial partnership agreement with the Outaouais community. And the resolution is asking for all of the Outaouais MRCs and the city of Gatineau to an agreement for, from what I understand, for artists. So the new resolution is to have updated signatures.
Okay, very good. Any questions or comments? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Karen Kelly. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.3, the FRR2 Annual Report 2022.
Donc, pour le bilan annuel FRR2 pour 2022, la résolution is to adopt the document that is presented to you in the gabarit.
Okay, and the annual report on the website. Okay, great. Very good. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're right. Yes, thank you. How about Mayor Donny Gagnon? Thank you very much. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 16.4. The FRR Component 2, 2024 FRR Intervention Priorities. A resolution. Pierre?
So the resolution, la résolution est pour soumettre la demande de paiement du volet 2. We are submitting a request for payment for this component 2 of the program.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions? Could I have someone move this? Moved by Mayor Alain Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.5 FRR 4 Annual Report 2022. A resolution, Pierre?
And this resolution, cette résolution calls for the approval of le tableau de suivi des projets, which is the framework for the follow-up of the projects.
I'll just add that this has to be submitted to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs. It has to be approved by them and also approved and adopted by the Council of Mayors in order to get the funding for the volet 2.
Thank you for your good questions, Mayor Kelly. Could someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Brent, or all those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.6 Vitalization Committee Recommendations, FRR 4. Resolution, Pierre?
Donc, la résolution est pour l'approbation du projet Upper Pontiac Sports Complex. Donc, je crois que tout le monde est au courant. OK, donc le détail de ce que j'en sais est que le ministère de l'Éducation a un programme pour l'infrastructure récréative et les sports. Et comme MRC, nous soumettons des projets dans le cadre de ce programme-là. Donc, le premier projet qui a été soumis et approuvé est celui qui s'appelle Upper Pontiac Sports Complex.
Okay.
Ah, OK, pour 90 000 $.
Okay, perfect. Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Donny Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.7 Sponsorship Request ESSA Resolution. Pierre?
Donc, la résolution, the resolution is for une commandite de $100, a sponsorship of $100 for T-shirts pour l'école secondaire Sierre de Coulanges.
Okay, I see. Could I have someone move this? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra. Yes. Very good point. Yes. That's right, for the kids that are involved in that. Excellent. Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.8 Tourism Outaouais MRC 2024-2025 Plan. Resolution, Pierre?
So the plan is for the upcoming year and to approve the work plan that is put forward. And from what I understand, again, the part of the budget has already been approved. So you need to approve the work plan that will go with the approved budget.
Okay. Could someone move this? Moved by Mayor Lynn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. 16.9. The Pontiac Bursaries Sponsorship Request for information. We don't vote on it. Go ahead, Pierre.
Donc, une demande de dons dans le cadre des bourses du Pontiac. Malheureusement, je n'ai pas plus d'informations. Est-ce que tu peux m'aider de ce côté-là?
We received a request just last week from Les Bourses du Pontiac for a bursary of $1,000. And now with our new policy that we just put in place for bursaries, sponsorships, and donations, we already have that $1,000 reserve for this fund. So it's just to approve to go forward with it.
No,
Just information.
it's just for information. That's correct. Thank you very much, Pierre. Well done.
Thank you, Warden. Thank
So public safety, Julian Gagnon, 17.1.
Good evening, everyone. This resolution concerns the purchase of a fit testing machine for our local firefighters. To give you some context, back in November, we adopted a resolution to apply for a grant and propose an intermunicipal agreement so that our firefighters can have a essentially free fit testing machine. It was budgeted for, or at least our portion of the purchase was budgeted for in the 2024 MRC budget. Unfortunately, the grant that was applied for, the FRR Stream 4, I believe, from the MAMASH, came to an end just as we deposited the submission for the grant, and therefore we are no longer eligible, or at least the call for projects is closed until 2025. So for those reasons, we would like to, it was a sort of discussed at the CSI meeting, and there was a recommendation put forward that we go ahead anyway with the purchase and charge the municipalities a rate that any other outside company would charge without the, of course, mileage and hourly rate and so on until we recoup the amount of funds that we have to disperse for the purchase of this machine. On a lifespan machine of about 10 years, of which we have a full warranty for 5 years, the money would be recouped in 2 years. And then from then on, for the remainder of the 8 years of the machine, essentially, we're offering that service for free to the municipalities. So the resolution is to purchase the machine and propose changes to the intermunicipal agreement that was proposed.
Thanks, Julian. Any questions or comments on this? Everybody is good with the municipal handling of it? All right, great. Could I have someone move the resolution? Moved by Mayor Ed Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 17.2, the renewal of ENPQ Training Manager Agreement. Julian.
Thank you. Training for all local firefighters. We are a training manager, signed agreement with them, and we have to renew this agreement every year. And this resolution is to, once again this year, renew this agreement.
Thank you, Julian. Any comments or questions about this? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Karen Kelly. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. We now go on to miscellaneous, and there isn't any miscellaneous. Well, goodness gracious. I think we're ending the meeting a little too early here. Oh, Brent, Brent has something he'd like to add to the agenda. Yes. I need Mayor Brantor is moving to go in camera. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. We're in camera. And Welcome back. And we just have the closing of the meeting. So could I have someone move to close? Thank you very much. Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong, all those in favor? Opposed, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.